I don't have like a whole rap sheet of write-ups because I got away with so much. But that's the problem with having that type of mindset, because you don't ever think you're gonna get caught, and you always think you will get away. I never believed. I thought I was bulletproof. Like, I just went out not believing I was going to get shot or killed. That was part of the game for me.
Do you remember the first few hours of being let out?
Oh, that was unreal.
Let's say 40 hours from that time right then. I will be leaving the institution on my own for the first time in a very, very long time.
Well, they say when there's a significant event in someone's life, they remember every detail. And I remember every detail. I remember it was 65 degrees and it was raining that day.
It was like a blur. It was being more numb to it. And I kind of went through my time like that from that point on. So even at the moment where I was given the life sentence, 25 years to life, I just went, sat down, heard the sentencing. I couldn't even remember exactly what was said. Like, I had to literally go through some of my paperwork. There were a lot of things where I was like, whoa, I don't even remember that. But, obviously it happened. And so that was kind of like where I was at, like kind of just numb and not being present at that time, with, what's going on. I knew what a life sentence meant. That meant I would spend the rest of my life in prison. Even though at that time I had hope, that would not be the case. But I knew that at the earliest I would be in my senior years before I would have an opportunity to get out, because that was a reality at the time. My name is Benjamin Jung. Everybody knows me as Ben. I committed my crime at 96, so I was 16. I went in at 97, and I was just released May 1st, the year 2018. With our culture, is like high expectations from the get-go. Now I know it was with good intentions, but the way it was received was not positive on my end, because even when I did something that I believed I did right, it would come with like even more. So in my mind, I never felt validated or that it was ever good enough.
Where were your parents from?
Korea. So they're like, that our culture, especially the generation before, is like heavy on school and sky's the limit type thing. I mean, all parents want that, right? But it was just translated on my end a whole different way. Our communication, father and myself, there was like a disconnect. And with physical abuse, all of those things combined led to me building a rebelliousness. When I stopped respecting my father and his authority, it was just all out. It went out to everybody. Because if I don't respect his, then how am I going to respect anybody else, right? I carry that with me everywhere.
The authority?
No, the high expectations. Those high expectations that my parents had for me, I always had for myself. Like, whatever I was doing, it was kind of like, okay, it's like an all or nothing type of attitude. And that's what I did in the gang lifestyle. Like, I wanted to make a name for myself, not only for myself, but the gang. I wanted the gang that I was from to be the biggest and baddest gang. And every gang member and every gang believes they're the top. That's where the problem is. And since we're violent and we carry guns, so what's going to happen? Like, nobody wins. With that lifestyle, people will die. It's going to happen because nobody thinks they're less than the next. And it's that pride thing, that so-called respect. You get me, I get you, and it's never going to stop. The only thing that can stop us, right, is death or prison. At that time, crime was at a high. LA was going crazy with gang-related crimes, murders, shootings, and that was a reality. And on top of that, juveniles as myself, we were getting involved in things like that at a very, very young age. And so all of that coupled together, I understood and I recognized that they were getting really tough on crime, and they were showing no type of mercy towards us as gang members or juveniles. I knew what a life sentence meant. That meant I would spend the rest of my life in prison. Even though at that time I had hope that would not be the case, but I knew that at the earliest I would be in my senior years before I would have an opportunity to get out. That was a reality at the time. Everybody was coming away. When I say everybody, like the people I knew, my friends, who were also faced with the same things, like we were essentially all getting life sentences.
Did you feel angry, or
I didn't
it was
feel,
not even?
I didn't feel angry. I know there was something going on, some type of emotion.
Buried under.
Yeah, so it's like it's hard to identify exactly what, but I know there was some anger. I received it, and it was more like of a, man, like this is real. Damn, like my life is really over. Yeah, generally speaking, prison, who wants to be in there? And it's horrible. Like I would never want to go back, but I made it work for me. Yeah, we made the most of what we had, and in that moment, we enjoyed it. So, like, I have good memories in there. Me and my buddies inside holidays, we typically get together and make food. So on Thanksgiving, for sure, without a doubt, we were making food, and it would be like a big batch. I think we made burritos. The ingredients, like all the materials, tortillas, refried beans, summer sausages, and we can also purchase like shredded beef or pork through the packages. There's jalapenos, there's cheese, there's rice. I was in a dorm setting. We didn't have any hot pots anymore, so we would have to warm it up in hot water, like real hot water. So we fill it up with water to a certain level. It gets heated up, pretty much scalding hot. Wrap it all up individually, and then we put them all in like a plastic bag. The hot water inside the bucket, it's already going, and we throw that bag of food inside that hot water, and it pretty much brings all the food together. It melts the cheese or whatever's going on, heats up all the food that's inside the burrito or the burrito in itself. 45 minutes of heating it up, and hey, it's ready to go. Of course, being in there wasn't the greatest by any means, but I look back. I think back, and I think about a lot of my friends, and there are times where, with what I am doing, I get to kind of reflect and see how far I've come.
I mean, talking about turning point, right? Like, what changed for you?
So over the years, I was still the same person. Mentality-wise, behavior-wise, I was still a gang member. Kind of honed my skills in prison because, you become a better criminal or more of a gang member or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, for me, that was the case. That process began in 2012. And I say the process because nothing happens overnight. And in the beginning, I had no intentions of really changing who I was because I didn't think that there was nothing wrong with me. So it was more like, okay, well, I need to begin this process because around that time is when I started seeing lifers go home. And I started seeing people that I knew personally go home. And it was like, whoa, like, what's going on here? Like, wow, this has never happened before. Because the reality was nobody was going home. Nobody. The governor would say it. They talked about lock them up, throw away the key. The COs knew. Other inmates knew. We just knew. It became where it's like, okay, well, I knew somewhat of the path to get to that release date or going home. So it required, obviously, staying out of trouble, going to classes. It was just all up front. It was just like, okay, I have to go through the motions. Once again, it's like that criminal mindset. Like I knew, okay, well, I need to get here, so this is what I need to do. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. But now I really can't get in trouble, though. over time, and of course through the years, like as I began taking these classes, you're gonna rub shoulders with guys that are already making those changes or have made changes, and just being able to speak to them, hearing them in class, doing the work. Things just started filling my head, I would say, like different thoughts. I began just contemplating on things, kind of reflecting, and I started hearing people speak on things that was very similar to my life. I started considering people I've hurt, and naturally you think about family first. Over time I started learning, having empathy for victims. And not that thought had never crossed my mind before. I wasn't just cold-hearted where it's like, oh, I'll never think about it, but I never truly had a clear understanding, right, of how I affected people. Once I started understanding those things and really taking a hard look and really sitting back, it could be in my cell or wherever, where I'm just laying down, just thinking about those things, where I started understanding and having that type of empathy, putting myself in their shoes. And that's when things started changing.
What's the best part of being out?
Being around family and just to see the relief, like the joy and happiness, in their face, because they don't have that weight. Even though for me, I used to tell them, man, just live your life. Like, don't worry about me, but it doesn't work like that. Even though I'm grown, like, they still look at you as the little kid or child. Having that burden of your loved one in there, I'm pretty sure they went through it more than I did.
우리 선이가 목동이가
It still didn't feel real to me. Like my body was out here, but I don't know, it still seemed like I was still kind of in there. That's like the best way I can explain it. All your senses are being pretty much shocked because like the colors, I'm used to seeing green, gray, and blue. And then movement, like you're not used to seeing cars, you're not used to seeing so many people walking around. The smell, like I was just loving the smell of gasoline, smog. I was just like, man, like hitting LA, I was like, home sweet home. I have friends that call me from prison, and I keep money on my phone because I know what it's like, obviously. Like essentially I feel like I'm living for them because they always ask like, man, oh, what's going on? Like, what are you doing? And I know it gives them that hope because like not too long ago, I was sitting or walking side by side with them on the track, working out, enjoying a meal, and now I'm out. Given that they're still in there, like they know that this is something that they have to look forward to, and that's a reality, not just like a pipe dream. It's just like it's a reality.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Not if. Right? Do I still value that lifestyle? Do I still value that image, or making a name for myself, or what I believe to be is respect? And because respect has a total different meaning for me now.
What does it mean?
Respect first for me starts with respecting self, and that's where it begins. Like if you can't have respect for self, you can't respect anybody else. Same thing with love or whatever it is. Like if I don't love myself, how can you love anybody else, right?